You left out liar.
I was sure that you wouldn't.
Jill, wake up. Her lies didn't hurt me. They hurt you. I mean, those ludicrous stories about Bess tripping around Peru and Mexico. How can you make peace with that?
Not easily, but I have. But I'm going to tell you something else. Maggie is smart, but she's no intellectual. Somebody had to help her with those stories, all those exotic descriptions of exotic Mexico.
Well, she got them out of the book.
Oh, agreed, but whose? And who helped her pick the exact passages? Because it was such deliciously wicked fun.
Roger. Oh, come on, no.
I say yes. I mean, who else could have helped her when she was housebound and flat on her back? And we all know Roger doesn't do favors for nothing. Oh, yeah, Frank and I think that they have become very, very close.
Well, they didn't. Because he swore to me that he would never do anything like that under this roof.
What? Under the sacred Coleridge roof? Why? Because of his fine sense of decency? Because of his pure heart?
Because he's pure Coleridge, and he has more class than that.
What does that make me? Half pure? Half tainted? Why don't you tell me that, half-sister?
Oh, don't.
I didn't. You did. Half-sister, half-caste. How dare I bring my low-class family into this noble house?
Joe's not going to stay away because Johnny Ryan tells him to.
Not tell him. Warn him. What kind of a father would I be if I didn't try to protect my daughter?
Siobhan asked you to stay out of it.
I've asked her to be careful. Did it do any good? Let me get the international up.
Who are you calling?
Joe. I'm going to read him the riot act.
You'll never get a hold of the Jack.
Well, there's got to be a way, Jack. How?
Same way you get into Fort Knox.
Come on, Jack. Somebody must have the number.
You may be lucky, Johnny. Old friend of mine, Louis Segardo, Interpol. You may be in business.
I'm sorry. I asked the unforgivable.
No, just the unanswerable.
Because I'm a woman. Men at the conference table and women at the dinner table. In between, silence.
Jacqueline.
Hide my brain under the latest hairstyle and never ask difficult questions.
About New York, no. Because that's where my past is. But my future is here with you. And with... what's his name? Hello, Joe Novak.
This is John Ryan in New York. I got a message for you.
Hang on a minute. Honey, would you mind?
No, I'll go and change. Come in when you're ready.
Okay, Johnny. Let's have it.
I know you've been back in New York. I know you brought a wife back with you. You don't deny that, do you?
You know, Johnny, you're still sticking your noses in place, and your nose in places where it doesn't belong.
Well, Jack Finelli and I both know where yours is. In the dirt, where it's always been, with your gun-slinging buddies. Now, listen to me, Joe. Two-timing your women is one thing, but two-timing the organization is another. You never got out, did you, Joe?
You know, you're making a real bad mistake here, Johnny. And you can tell Jack Finelli what to do with it, too.
Look, I'm warning you, mister. I won't have you bringing Siobhan or us any more grief. Don't come back here. And if you dare show your face back in this city, I tell you, the Bujac's millions aren't going to save you. Just stay away from my daughter. Is that clear?
Got it. Now you hear me, old man. I have a life and a wife here. And the last thing I want to do is go back to New York, and Siobhan knows that. So don't you ever call me again. Is that clear?
Well, it's hail and farewell time.
What did you say to Jill?
A few home truths. And I underline home because I don't like what's happened to mine.
Well, you must have said more than that. She's practically a basket case upstairs. I haven't seen her this broken up before, never.
Well, she'll get over it. She's a lot tougher than you think, Frank. I remember that someday. Remember, I'm the one who told you that.
I don't get it. You two love each other. She's completely happy for the first time in months. How could you do this to her?
Actually, it wasn't hard. Yeah, I touched a sensitive spot. It's good to know she has a few left.
Where is all this coming from? Why are you so angry
Oh,
at her?
Frank, why aren't you? Why aren't you just mad? Or do you like living in this carnival sideshow? Step right up, folks. See, the petrified man doesn't squirm, doesn't move, just sits there like a stone.
Come on. You know very well how I feel about staying here. The only reason I've kept my mouth shut is for Jill's sake.
For Jill's sake. For Jill's... This whole house has been turned upside down for Jill's sake. My home. And hasn't it occurred to either one of you that maybe my feelings have been presumed upon as well?
Yeah, it's my fault. I should have moved us out of here months ago.
I go to the kitchen, and there's Bess. I come into my living room, and there's Maggie with one of her assorted accomplices. And I go upstairs, and who do I see? You. Do you have any idea how I feel when I see you standing there in your bathrobe, ready to go to bed, ready to make love to my sister? I mean, talk about sensitivity, Frank.
Faith. Faith. If I thought for one second...
Oh, don't worry. Don't. I'm not. But I have a good memory. And that hurt was bad. And I don't want to be constantly remembered of my lost loves.
I'm sorry.
Why hasn't it ever occurred to you?
I don't know. I don't know. I guess maybe I've just had to keep my eyes closed to everything that's been going on around here in order to preserve my own sanity.
Want to move to Minnesota?
Yeah.
Better yet, Frank. Keep your eyes open. For Jill's sake. Because if you don't, Maggie's going to bleed her dry. And she's going to keep the house cozy and calm for Bess. Because you see, they're real family. Roger and I, we're just a couple of stand-ins. And that hurts.
You think I don't know that?
Oh, Frank, I don't know what you know. I don't think I ever have. All I know is you don't act. You're out in the wings somewhere, and Maggie and Bess, they're center stage, and Jill, she's directing the whole fiasco.
No, not anymore. Now, I'm going to move us out of here pronto. I mean it. You stay. And I promise you that you are going to get your house back.
Oh, let her have the house if that's what she wants.
Well, it isn't what I want. I want to find an apartment for Jill and me and make a home for my son. Jono's been out in left field in this whole thing, too, you know.
Yeah, I know. What about Maggie and Bess?
Well, that's up to Jill. If they want to keep sponging off her and she wants to carry them, fine. But she's going to have to do that with them living somewhere else.
Tony!
What can I do for you, Maggie?
I need advice. There's still something I haven't told Jillian.
something else?
Yeah, well, this is the last secret. But in a way, it's the worst.
I need to know something, Roger. Did you or didn't you have something going with Maggie?
What brought this on?
I just had a fight with Jill. Over a lot of things. One being whether you were tasteless enough to have slept with her half-sister in this house. Did you? And don't you dare lie to me.
Yes.
That's appalling.
True. But that's not even the worst thing.
Oh, I'll bet.
She may even throw me out.
Tell me.
I had an affair with Roger. Are you disgusted with me?
No. Not even surprised. Because I know Roger. He led you on?
Did he? I don't know. I guess he thought I was more grown up. He thought we were just having fun.
And you thought he was going to marry you, right?
I'm so humiliated. He acted like I was something wonderful.
You are. So Roger's just not the marrying kind, that's all.
Yeah, he told me.
Well, that's to his credit. Not much else is, however.
But now he's acting like I'm some sort of tramp. And I am afraid of what he's going to tell Jillian.
Well, I can't tell her too much without coming off badly himself.
Oh, he's awfully good with words. And why should Jillian believe anything I say? But if I don't get to her first and he tells her his version... Seneca, what do I do?
I'm sorry all this is getting to you.
Oh, my fault. For keeping my eyes closed and letting the anger wait too long.
For believing better things of me just because I told you?
It's not the first time you've lied to me, Roger. But you know what my problem is? I want to be wonderful. And I want the people I love to be wonderful. And when they're not, or when I'm not, it makes me angry.
That seems reasonable.
Maybe. But for an alcoholic, it's risky. I can handle a lot of things. Deaths, personal miseries and crises, even a broken shoelace, and I don't nod toward the booze. But plain, blazing anger, that really makes me want to take a drink.
But you haven't had one.
No. Because I think I've finally learned how to take care of myself. Which is why I'm leaving. I called the Mayo Clinic, I accepted the job, called the airlines, and I have a flight in 2 hours.
What can I say? I miss you, babe.
In some perverse way, I'll miss you too. It doesn't mean I'm not still mad at you, though.
Yeah, and I still haven't told you the worst.
Oh, great. Well, come on, bare your soul by all means, please.
I helped Maggie lie about her mother.
You knew who Betsy was?
No. I knew that she was sitting in a trailer camp in Tacoma. Maggie confided in me early on. But she gave me half-truths.
She was adorable. She was needy and enchanting.
So you helped her. And you took her to bed. How did you sell that to yourself, Roger? Was it just for fun, or were you trying to get back at Jill? Because I always thought you were too decent when you found out she was really Dad's child.
I honestly don't know. I thought that I meant for Jill to learn about the truth gradually.
Now you're in a pickle. A big one. Well, I'm going to give you a little tip, a little goodbye present. Jill suspects that you were in cahoots with Maggie. So you better set her straight about your noble motives, or else you're going to find yourself out on your ear, because she may need this apartment for one of her other brothers or cousins or uncles.
No, wait a minute. This is our house.
The deed is in 3 names, Roger. Yours, mine, and Jill's.
If it comes to a showdown as to who has the right to live here, where do you stand?
For the time being, in Minnesota.
Wait. Look, if this turns into a battle, I may need your help.
I have to think about that. And a lot of other things. But the person who needs me most right now is me.
Son, if there's trouble in this house, too, I don't want to unload on you.
No, Dad, listen. It's about time I paid some attention to my own family for a change. What's up?
It's Siobhan. Joe Novak's back.
He's back. I thought he was out of her life for good. He wrote her a letter.
Yeah, and I got down on my knees, and I thank God for it. Too fast, they found each other again. The man's remarried. Some deal he made to get out of the organization, if you can buy that.
Wait a minute. You mean Joe is married and Siobhan is seeing him?
Yeah.
It's got to be a nightmare for her.
Oh, yeah. It's got to be a nightmare. But she keeps going back for more. It's that will of hers.
Well, I know she was in love with him.
Yeah. And what's it ever got her but misery? She's just asking to be killed. It's like Mary all over again, just asking for
it. Come on, Don. It's nothing like Mary. Mary was involved in an investigation. She didn't know what she was getting herself into.
Mary was killed the same day Siobhan and that man got married. By his men, whether he knew about it or not. Siobhan has got to be rid of him. I just got finished phoning the guy. He's in France with his new wife, conducting business for his father-in-law, some mogul named Max de Bujac. Probably one of them.
Wait a minute. You phoned Joe over there?
You bet I did. He said he wasn't coming back here. But Siobhan's just liable to pick herself up and go to France. She's acting that foolish.
All right, listen, why don't I talk to her? It can't do any harm.
No. It sure can't make matters worse. Your mother is going to be up the wall when she finds out the meddling I've done today. Do you think I'm out of line?
Not at all, Doc. You're just a man trying to take care of his own, that's all.
What happened to Maggie? I mean, I understand my kid too well for that.
Well, I think it's fair to say that it was a mutual arrangement.
Thank you. Yes, but the difference is what you both had in mind. You see, I guess it was partly my fault, because I turned Maggie's head with all these stories about your dad. You know, I told her about how he was the only man who ever really treated me like a lady. Of course, I always knew Ed could never marry me.
No, wait. She didn't say that I implied that I would marry her.
Oh, no. I mean, to be fair, no, she never said that. It's just that she thought that maybe she could win your heart, you know, if she worked at it. Now, I told her it didn't make any difference. But she was floating on clouds, you know? And she was nuts about you.
Well, when I realized that, of course, I broke it off.
Oh, and that was real decent of you. It really was, but... Well, now I want to ask a favor of you. So that her heart isn't broken completely?
What's that?
Well, why don't you go to Jillian? Take the blame. I mean, they're going to find out one way or the other, you know? And Maggie's, she's aching to tell her.
She is?
Yeah. The only thing is she thinks that maybe Jillian will turn her back on her. And that would really break her heart. But you see, I'm sure. I feel that Jillian would really trust you if you went to her and were big about it, you know?
Bess, you're quite a lady.
Well, I think you're quite a gentleman. Just like your father.
Well, I try. And I will make an effort with Jill. For Maggie's sake.
You sure it has to be this quick?
Absolutely, or I might change my mind. I called Bob. He's going to take me to the airport.
What does Patrick say?
Marry me? Which is why I haven't called. Now I know he's in surgery, so I can't. Will you tell him that I love him? And that I will call and I will write.
Sure. But you won't marry him?
No. Not now. Not just for safe harbor. He knows that. We just have to both get on with our lives, and then we'll see. Oh, there's Robert.
No, stay. I'll get it. News I've heard today.
Yeah.
What is?
Well, Dusty McDonald's dropped all charges against Bess. And as soon as the doctors agree, he's going to be on the first bus back to Tacoma.
Good riddance.
Yeah.
Well, in-law, my very best to you and your bride. And I mean that.
I want everything that's good for you.
Thanks. You know something? So do I. Bye.
I must say, your phone call fascinated me.
And you're up for a bit of intrigue?
Depends. Things have been awfully dull since your daughter left.
Well, maybe you should be grateful. Please have a seat. I understand they're really cooking over the Coleridge-Ryan household.
Oh, are they really? My.
And I'd kind of like to keep it that way.
As a part of your campaign to reacquire Jillian.
Do you object?
Me? Why should I? She's always been a far better choice for you than my daughter ever was, and she's absolutely dreadful for Frank. So, what can I do to help you?
Am I right in assuming you had something to do with getting Dee Dee out of town? So that little John wouldn't have to go through that custody hearing.
Well, Frank, did ask me for some help, and I felt I owed him one, so I pulled a few strings, but...
No, fine. Do one more thing. Call up Delia, wish her a Happy New Year, and say it's a mother-to-mother talk, highly confidential. And then tell her you have reason to believe that if she talked to her son, he'd tell her that he really wasn't all that thrilled with his new stepmother, and he did not want to live in that Coleridge house.
Have you lost your mind? How on earth
could I do that? First of all, Delia and I are barely on speaking terms, and secondly, how would I know something like that?
Well, you stop by Ryan's for a cup of Christmas cheer. How do I know, Ray? Now, come on, I leave that up to you. You're very good at that. Besides, believe me, Delia will be so pleased to have one up on Jillian that she won't see any holes in your story, I promise.
All right, suppose she does talk to little John. And suppose he tells her something quite different.
Most children tell their mothers what they want to hear.
No, I couldn't do that to Frank. He wants that child with him so badly.
Ray, if he wanted his son around, he would take every opportunity to get him. The way you take every opportunity to get Arlie.
Uh-huh. In other words, if I cooperate with you, you will see to it that I get my granddaughter more often.
Well, I think it would be very good for both of you.
Mm. All right. I'll do it.
Good.
Poor Jillian. Nothing but trouble, trouble, trouble everywhere that girl looks.
Faith and I shared a few home truths before she left.
You too?
She was bottling things up, and she was heading for the bottle.
Well, if she had gotten there, I don't think it would have been our responsibility.
She knew that. But after seeing her reaction to what I had to say, I realized that I'd been somewhat of a coward and a cad.
What else is new, Roger?
Possibly my need to tell you about it.
Go ahead.
I helped Maggie keep you in the dark about your mother. Now, I didn't know the whole truth myself, not that it was Betsy.
Oh?
But I did know she was a waitress and not a world traveler. Now, maybe I should have told you that, even though I knew it would hurt.
But you were, what, protecting my feelings?
I can't honestly tell you what my motives were.
Well, thanks for that much truth. What else?
Maggie had an investment in me, too. Therefore, she needed to lie to both of us. I found her desirable and adorable, and I took advantage of that situation.
What are you trying to say, Roger, that you seduced her?
I'm saying that we had an affair which I initiated and enjoyed very much, as she did. But I had no idea that she was marriage-minded. She was young and eager and not entirely innocent.
But extremely gullible.
I am very sorry, Joe.
Well, that's just swell, Roger. I guess that just solves everything, doesn't it?
I need to talk to Jillian.
You know, it might be nice if, for a change, you thought about what Jill needs.
She needs to hear what I have to say.
I doubt that.
Look, Frank, I know you don't like me, and believe me, the feeling's mutual. But could we not just pretend for Jillian's sake?
Sure. By all means, when she's around.
Maggie. Good. Jill's waiting for you upstairs.
She is?
I just told all, and she's eager for more information.
You didn't.
Why don't you go see?
What was that all about?
I was told that you suspect that Maggie and I were more than just friends.
You're right.
Damn it, Roger. In this house!
I own part of this house, Frank. And the young lady was more than willing. But for Jill's sake, I just took responsibility for the whole sort of business. But anyone who looks at Maggie the way you do knows better, instinctively.
And just what is that supposed to mean?
Just sends out signals that are very hard to resist. But I'd resist them if I were you. Jill's a very generous lady, but there's some things your wife just couldn't put up with.
As a crime boss to smash a counterfeiting ring. And white slavers sell girls in exchange for national secrets on masquerade.
Did he tell you about what?
He told you about our affair.
About your affair? And about how he helped you to keep me from finding my mother.
Are you angry?
At Roger, yeah, I'm angry.
With me?
With you? I just wish you had trusted me enough to confide in me.
I knew how you'd feel.
You were right.
It's no big deal, Jill.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's not as if he took advantage of me or anything.
It isn't?
No. He intrigued me at first because he was different from the other boys I knew. But after a while, I got to be bored all that smug superiority. So I called it off.
Really? Well, I guess that was probably one of your finer moments, Maggie.
It's not that he's not attractive or interesting. He's just too old for me.
Oh, Joe.
Madame.
What's this?
Well, Ryan pointed out that you were the only lady who didn't receive perfume for Christmas, so I thought I'd remedy the situation.
Is that what you've been doing all this time? Buying me perfume?
Well, no, not the whole day. Open it, try it, smell it, see if you like it.
This wouldn't be the scent that Bess Shelby uses, would it?
Now, how would I know a thing like that?
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you for the thought. Why do I get the feeling that this is some kind of peace offering?
Probably because you're too smart for your own good.
Uh-huh. What have you been up to?
I called Joe.
You?
I called Joe in France, and I told him if he knew what was good for him to stay out of our daughter's life.
How could you do such a thing?
Well, Jack got me the number. I picked up the telephone.
I didn't mean... You got Jack involved in this?
Now, don't get upset, lady. Jack would be the last person in the world to endanger Siobhan.
What did you say to Joseph?
I told him if he came back to New York City again, his life wouldn't be worth 2 cents.
John, you're beginning to sound like a member of the mob yourself.
Well, that's exactly how I felt.
What did Joseph say to that?
He said there'd be no problem. He had no intention of coming back to New York. But I don't trust the man, lady. I just hope Frank can talk some sense into Siobhan.
You told Francis what's going on? Siobhan is going to be furious with you, John.
Well, I had to do something. You stood here. You heard our daughter say she would do anything in the world to be able to spend the rest of her life with Joe Novak. I'd rather have a furious than dead.
Feeling better?
Yeah, I guess so. At least Mother and Don know where I stand now.
I don't have to ask if they approve.
No, you don't.
You ready for a tough assignment?
Sure, what's up?
You can tell the lady to come in now.
What lady?
Jack Finelli's producer. She's looking for police cooperation on an expose they're doing.
Oh, yeah? What kind of expose?
They're investigating the murder of Joe Novak's relative, the one who wound up in the river. Captain told her you and I had been assigned to the case.
crime division.
Since you went out. Sorry you weren't here when the captain came in with the assignment, but the department doesn't grind to a halt whenever you leave on personal business.
Would you like me to wait outside?
Yeah, please, if you just give us 2 more minutes.
If we're on the case, of course we'll cooperate with Jack.
If you're on the case?
Well, I'm sure that Detective Hyde will be, but I may request a transfer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really. But if we do work together, I need your promise that you'll keep my ex-husband's name out of it.
Do you think Joe Novak's involved?
No, I'm sure that he's not. It's just that Jack might feel obligated to mention Joe's connection with the Novotny family.
Only if it's relevant to the investigation.
Well, it wouldn't be.
We're supposed to cooperate, not tell them how to write the
Well, I'd just
story.
like a little cooperation in return, okay?
If you're sure that Joe Novak's not involved with the case, then I'm sure there won't be a problem.
I don't want Jack digging up ancient history. No matter what anyone thinks, my ex-husband is out of the mob. I just want that understood.
Roger isn't the only man I've ever been with. Does that shock you?
No. But I still don't think you should take those things lightly.
I just don't want to get serious with anybody right now. Especially somebody old enough to be my father.
He's not that old.
Well, you'd think so, the way he wanted to control me. Remember when you advised me about older men? You were talking about Seneca, but it applied to Roger. He wanted to control my life. Couldn't stand to think that I could get along without him. Well, it's a good thing I broke it off when I did, because I might have broken his heart, the poor old thing.
I really thought that you were going to stop lying to me.
What do you mean?
Whose heart was really broken?
Not mine. Is that what the... I suppose he also said that I wanted to marry him. I know that's what he thought. Well, that's ridiculous, Jill. I wouldn't marry that guy if he were the last man in the world.
Maggie, when are you going to trust me?
I do.
Roger's a rat. Oh, he's a complete rat, but he is a charming rat. You fell for him, didn't you? You expected him to marry you.
I'm so ashamed. I felt like such a fool.
And I'm sorry that he hurt you.
I deserved it. It was stupid of me. I don't understand how you can be so nice to me.
Because you're my sister. And because I love you.
Hey, what's with your mother-in-law?
I don't know. Why?
I just asked her if she knew where Faith is, and her eyes rolled up to heaven, and she said, you better ask your brother. So, I'm asking, where's Faith?
You know, it's been an awful nerve-wracking day around here today, Patty, on everyone. There's been enough tension around here to make a teetotaler turn to drink.
She took a drink?
No. No, she didn't. But I'm sure she wanted to. She said she needed some space to get her head on straight. She asked me to tell you that she'd write to you or call to explain.
Write or call from where?
Rochester. She went to the Mayo Clinic to look into that position she was offered. Bobby took her to the airport. Asked me to tell you.
Oh, sure. Same thing.
She had a plane to catch, Pat.
Well, there's always another plane, Frank. Tomorrow, next week.
She'd been through the ringer. She wanted to discuss the whole thing with you, but you were in surgery. What else can I tell you?
Well, you can tell me who put her through the ringer.
All right. She put herself through it. She told us all about how she felt about the way Jill had taken over the house. Frankly, I don't even blame her. I just wish she'd mentioned the whole thing sooner. Would have been a big help to me if she would have thrown us out of this house weeks ago. You want a drink?
She threw you out, then why did she leave?
No, she didn't throw us out. She just said she didn't want to stay around here any longer.
3 guesses why.
I'll tell you why. Because the one person she thought was her ally turned out to have been lying to her the whole time.
I don't get it.
Roger. He's been having an affair with Maggie.
Faith thought that her brother was her only ally?
Yeah, in this house, in her family.
Well, then why didn't she come to me instead of running out on me?
I don't know.
Well, you must have an opinion, Frank. You're a big Park Avenue lawyer now. Maybe you should be able to figure it out.
Yeah, I've got an opinion.
Well, then let's hear it. If it doesn't take too long, I'm not sure I can afford your new hourly rate.
What's going on with you?
I just want to hear your opinion, Frank. Why did Faith run out on me? Why wouldn't she marry me?
My opinion is that all this forced family togetherness under one roof has put everyone here under too much pressure. I don't doubt that she needed space. I need it myself.
Well, maybe you should have gone with her.
What are you driving at?
Faith left town because she can't stand seeing you and Jill together. You're the reason Faith walked out on me.
I should have told you about Roger along with everything else, but I couldn't, not with all the other lies I told. Seneca said that you value truth more than anything else. But I wanted you to love me, not hate me.
Seneca told you to tell me the truth?
I wish I'd listened to him.
Well, he probably had some ulterior motive. I mean, but it was good advice.
I wish you didn't feel that way about him, Jill.
Oh, you see? That's exactly what he wanted you to say to me.
He's been really nice to me, and not just to get to you,
Oh,
to help
really?
me.
In what way has he been good to you? That doesn't affect me in some way.
He helped me get started on a modeling career.
No, Maggie. That hospital is lucky to have you, not the other way around.
No, not just the poster. He gave me enough money to cover the forged check and to get Dusty another $1,000.
Seneca knew?
No, I told him it was for photographs and clothes. To help me get started on modeling.
Oh, Maggie.
I know, more lies. But now you know everything. Really.
What is it?
I'm thinking. I just want to be sure. Yeah. You know everything. From now on, clean slate. I will never lie to you again. Okay, I don't expect you to believe me. I'll have to prove it. Just please forgive me and give me another chance.
If you ever set me up again...
I know. I won't. From now on, everything is out in the open.
Well, then I guess I'll hear from you in the morning.
Yeah, we'll be in touch.
Have a happy New Year.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Same to you. So, was this Jack's idea or yours?
What are you talking?
Is this something you two worked out the other day when you had your little chat?
You're really off the wall. His producer came in here on her own. She didn't know Holland Beckett assigned us to the case beforehand.
Just sheer coincidence, eh?
Yeah.
I won't do it. I refuse to stand around while you and Jack try to pin this on Joe. I'm asking for a transfer.
Why do psychics predict a lightning flash hits Mr. T and Magna marries Flashdance star? Inquiring minds want to know.
I want to know.
Will Dynasty's Joan Collins switch over to Dallas and John Denver get snowed under? This week's National Enquirer tells you. Plus, what new drug can help KO agonizing headaches? Have doctors discovered sex is the key to long life?
It's in the Enquirer.
What bombshells are revealed in upcoming Dallas episodes? Find out in the Enquirer. Over 100 features for people with inquiring minds.
Like me.
Just the person I wanted to see.
I know I'm going to wish I were somewhere else, but go ahead, Novak.
Captain, do you remember why I wanted out of the organized crime units?
Something about conflict of interest, I believe.
Yes, that's right, and it hasn't changed. I could still endanger my ex-husband's life if the mob thinks that I'm passing on information I got from him.
Detective Hyde tells me that you severed all connections with Joe Novak, and you're confident he's out of the mob.
Yes, that's true. But I could still jeopardize his life because of our past relationship.
Siobhan, I figured you'd rather be on the case to make sure the investigation was fair to Novak.
Yes, I would. But I really don't see the mob being that fair to Joe.
But if you're afraid we're going to try and pin it on him, then it's
No,
best
I
you're
didn't
around.
mean that. You and Jack will be fair because you'll find out that he wasn't involved. That doesn't worry me.
Look, Novak, maybe you don't belong on the force at all. I mean, either you're interested in fighting crime or you're not.
Captain, I don't think you understand.
If your
what I'm
husband
trying to
feels he
say.
needs protective custody, let him ask for it.
He can't live like that.
Well, that's his choice. Your choice was to accept the assignment on the organized crime unit or be suspended from the force. It's up to you. I'll give you 48 hours to decide.
Thank you. I'll let you know.
Enjoy that?
She'll stay.
I hope not. But the boys upstairs tell me a lot is riding on your undercover assignment. I'm supposed to give you everything you need, even if it means Siobhan Novak's head on a silver platter.
That's not the way it is. I'm trying to keep her alive.
I hope you're successful.
Thanks for cooperating, Captain.
Faith in me? That was over ages ago.
For you, maybe.
For her, too! What's eating you? You look at me like I'm a monster, like I'm a stranger you've never seen
Yeah,
before.
well, that's the way I feel. I don't know you anymore.
Really? Since when?
Since you decided Riverside wasn't good enough for you. The neighborhood's legal problems weren't big enough for you.
Come on, Patrick, you can't be serious. You feel you don't know me anymore because Jill and I decided to expand our law
You think
firm?
I'm the only one in the family who feels this way?
Yes, I do.
Well, you're wrong. That shows how insensitive you've become to the feelings of those around you. Maybe you didn't see what was happening to Faith. Or maybe you liked it.
Liked it? I didn't even know about it. She never even let on that Jill and I were a problem for her until this morning.
Oh, so she admitted it to you.
All right, come on, don't blow the whole thing out of proportion.
Yeah, like I always do when you take something away from me.
I haven't taken anything from you.
It's because of you that Faith is gone.
That is not true.
Well, maybe it just feels that way. But, if I ever fall in love again, I'm gonna make sure you don't know about it.
Come back here. Patrick, come on. What's the... Will you grow up? What's the matter with you? Come on.
Stop it, both of you! What is happening to everybody in this house today?
I'm so sorry, Jill, if I disrupted your household.
Patrick, wait a minute.
let him
Listen to me.
Don't ask.
Frank, we need to talk.
We sure do. And the very first item on the agenda is, when is Maggie moving out of this house?
That's not what I had in mind.
Excuse me. Patrick let me in on his way. Why, I'm sorry. Was this a bad time to drop in? Here I was, simply calling to wish her a Happy New Year, and she starts bombarding me with a catalog of Little John's complaints.
Leave it to Delia.
I can't believe Jono said he didn't like Jill. He's always loved her. Ma told me just before Christmas he couldn't wait to move in with us.
Oh, well, as I said, I'm sure you should take it with a grain of salt. I'm sure Delia was exaggerating. She may have even put the ideas in his head herself. I'm probably doing exactly what she hoped I'd do by telling you about it.
Possibly. But it's good to know.
Oh, of course, I agree. Forewarned.
Right. We'll have to talk to Little John about that when he comes home.
I promised the two of you that I wouldn't be staying, and I won't.
I appreciate your coming by. I'll walk you to the door.
Oh, no, that's not necessary. I thought I'd drop in on Roger. May I use the inside stairs?
Yeah, sure, fine.
Do have a Happy New Year.
We'll try. One big happy family. Now getting back to where we were.
Frank,
I think...
listen to me. I want to make a home for Little John. I always have. But please don't talk to me about kicking my sister out of this house in the same breath.
Which sister?
Maggie. Who did you mean?
Just checking.
48 hours to decide.
Well, the choice is clear, isn't it? I happen to agree with the captain. You either want to enforce the law or protect the mob. It's up to you. Which side are you on?
John, it's not all that simple, and you know it.
Never mind, Ma. He won't try to understand. I'm used to it.
a terrible choice, darling.
I don't know why the captain's being so hard-nosed about it. I shouldn't have to make this choice. I can't.
Positive. What's the story?
There's a possibility Joe Novak killed a Novotny relative. He had the opportunity. He dropped out of sight right afterwards.
I want Siobhan Novak off the case. It's too dangerous.
No chance. It's orders from the top. Whether or not Novak's out of the mob, he's still deep in the Dubouchak organization.
Yeah, but they're legitimate, aren't they?
Technically, what difference does it make? Black hand, white hand? It's corruption. It's just on a higher level.
Even so, it's too dangerous.
The girl stays on the case. She's our best source of information. She's the candle. He's the moth. She'll attract him. And if we have to, we'll kill him.
Siobhan, you've been reassigned to the organized crime unit. You're only being asked to...
Turn on Joe. Which is the same thing as turning on myself, because there is no separation.
No one is asking to betray Joseph.
Siobhan, the man has sworn to you he's out of the organization, am I right? If you believe that, you wouldn't have a problem investigating a murder in his family.
You know, why do I always have to prove something? Why can't I just be? Is that so much to ask for? Work that I love. The man that I love. Where is it written that you can't get what you want?
You want a married man. That might have a little to do with it. Hello.
Hi, Don. It's about Siobhan. I've been trying to get her at home, but there's no answer.
That's because she's here.
I see. You think now would be a good time to have that talk with her?
You might say that.
Good, I'll be right over.
Thanks, son. I'll see you soon. Bye. That was Frank. He's on his way over.
What for?
Wants to have a few words with you.
What's going on? You told him about Joe, didn't you?
As far as I can tell, Novak's still in Nice.
Right. Playing husband to the Dubouchak girl. He seems to be enjoying the part.
Yeah. Well, at least it looks like he's keeping his part of the bargain.
Dubouchak knows.
About the bargain?
About Siobhan. Everything about Siobhan.
What are we gonna do?
Nothing. It's their move.
What does this mean for Siobhan?
Keep an eye on Siobhan. Especially if she tries to contact Joe.
I'm sorry this is taking so long.
Is there a problem?
There was. It's all taken care of now.
Good. Let's not waste any more time.
There. Tape set. The beginning footage is of the family of Siobhan Ryan Novak.
Siobhan's parents run a namesake bar, Ryan's, in the Riverside section of New York City. Siobhan's father, Johnny, was born in the neighborhood. He later met Siobhan's mother, Maeve, when he went to Ireland. He was on leave from the army during World War II. After the war, he returned to Ireland and married her. Maeve and Johnny have 5 children, 2 boys and 3 girls. Siobhan is the youngest. They, of course, were all sent to parochial schools. This is Francis. He goes by the name of Frank. He's the eldest. He joined the police force right after college. He went to law school at night and then entered politics. He began by being a member of the city council and then ran for the Senate. Won, but was forced to resign. He's now a practicing attorney. His law offices are on Park Avenue. He's divorced from the mother of his 10-year-old son. Frank recently married his law partner. The footage of her appears much later in the tape. Do you want me to go to that now?
No, continue with Siobhan's brothers and sisters.
This is Patrick, a doctor. He's currently on the staff at Riverside Hospital. He's very involved in the community. He ran a free clinic for some time, but then was forced to close it. At the moment, he's single. He and Siobhan are very close. As a matter of fact, they're buddies. Siobhan has a sister, Kathleen, who lives in Pittsburgh, but we don't have any footage on her. She did have another sister, Mary, who's dead. She used to be a television reporter for Channel 1.
How did she die?
She was murdered by the organization on the very morning that Joe and Siobhan were married. Her death was ordered by Tito Novotny, Joe's uncle.
I knew you wanted Joe out of my life, but I...
Damn right I want him out of your life, sweetheart.
You would go this far.
I only want Frank to talk a little sense into you.
Oh, who are you kidding? You only want Joe dead. That's what you want.
Chiffon. What are you saying?
Every time he opens his mouth about Joe, he drives another nail into his coffin.
I'm not going to hear any more of this.
Fine. Fine, you won't. I am leaving.
Wait, Siobhan.
And, oh, before you finish driving another stake into his heart, remember that mine is right behind it.
Why must you twist love into something like hate?
His actions are that of a loving man, huh?
You listen to me, girl. You may disapprove of your father's methods, but you certainly cannot question his motives. He went to Francis because he's worried about you. He's already buried one daughter. Can you fault him for not wanting to bury another?
I'm so sick of Mary's death being thrown into my face. I didn't kill her, Joe didn't kill her, so stop punishing us. I miss her too, you know? Who else knows about Joe?
You already think the worst, you might as well know the worst.
I'm afraid to ask what you've done.
I spoke to the man himself.
Joe. He's back? What, he came by looking for me?
I spoke to him on the phone.
He called.
I called.
How could you? How did you?
Jack helped. He got me Mr. Debujac's number. Look, someday, you'll thank me for this.
For what?
For telling Joe Novak never to set foot in New York or ever lay eyes on you again.
Oh, I'm so glad you're here.
Mom.
Ron, you feel cold.
Hold on.
Warm yourself.
Nippy?
Let me hang up your coat for you.
Thank you.
If you two will excuse me, I think I'm going to go downstairs to the bar. Your father may need a hand.
Sure, Ma. Hiya, kid. You stopped speaking entirely, or just reserving this treatment for certain select members of the Ryan clan? watching?
The Dark.
The Dark. That's good. The Dark is a good description of this entire day. Patrick and I had a real knockdown, drag-out fight.
Well, that's not surprising. Your last name is Ryan.
No, this one was for real. No, I mean, it didn't get bloody or anything like that. I think our egos got more bruised than our bodies.
What were you fighting about?
Faith, leaving.
What?
Oh, yeah, she took that job at the Mayo Clinic. Mainly to get away from Jill's new family, I think, but... Well, Pat kind of thought it was to escape from him. And me, you know, her ex-lover, all that. He was pretty broken up about it. I suspect the rest of the family will be, too.
I'm sorry. For you, Pat, Faith.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we're a pretty sorry lot today, huh?
Where's Pat now?
Oh, he's probably off somewhere, drowning his sorrows.
Well, he's certainly entitled to that now, isn't he?
From what I hear, so are you. No, don't jump all over me for butting into your life. It's just that Da's worried sick about you, and he asked me to help.
He infuriates me. I know he means well, but he just infuriates me. Believe it or not, I'm beginning to understand. I am. He does what he has to do. And I do what I have to do.
Sounds to me like you have a plan.
I only know that Joe and I were meant to be together.
My lady?
You're my man. Oh, I don't want the evening to be over. Let's have another bottle of champagne.
How do you think that's a very good idea? What if you're pregnant?
Absolutely right. And charming as a concerned daddy. What's wrong, darling?
You're not sure, are you?
It's too soon. But I hope so. Wouldn't Daddy be pleased?
Yeah. Well, somehow Max doesn't quite strike me as the grandfatherly type.
Well, he may not look like a grandfather, but he'd love to be the head of a dynasty.
Yeah.
Lording over us all.
Well, you do have a point there.
I'm also going to have a son. Yours. Oh, I had so much fun with dancing with you tonight. You know what the best part is?
No.
It's not over.
Good shot.
Good catch. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh is right. Your father's home. His car's in the driveway. Jacqueline,
Yes?
don't get undressed,
Why?
because we have to go see Max.
No, we don't.
Of course we do. Now, he expects us, and you know it.
I'm sorry, darling. You must get tired jumping through all of Daddy's hoops.
But you see, I understand why I have to.
Most men wouldn't be so understanding.
I'm not like most men.
I've noticed. Neither is Daddy. I can't help but forgive him. He's tried so hard to make up for Mother. I'm afraid he spoiled me rotten. But not too rotten, I hope.
Nope. But just rotten enough.
With me? I'm Julian Coleridge.
Stop there for a moment,
I
Hutch.
have your vote. Good night.
Gillian Coleridge Ryan. Now, she could make me decide to headquarter in New York. Frank Ryan's wife. Tell me more about her background.
Well, she graduated Yale Law School. She's on the Law Journal.
Beautiful and bright.
Yes, she was raised in privilege and wealth. Oh, she lost a bid for the Congress.
Ambitious. Likes power. What about her personal life?
She's had this on-again, off-again relationship with Frank Ryan for years. In fact, their marriage is only religious. It isn't legal.
She's confused about men. Could be useful.
Daddy!
We'll finish this later.
Of course.
Daddy!
Well, let her in. Let her in? Yes.
Why, Daddy, what have you been up to in here?
Hello, Jacqueline.
We missed you.
Hello, Max.
Joe. You've been to the casino?
No. Actually, we've been out dancing. Is there some business you'd like to talk about?
Plenty of time for that tomorrow. Hutch has been filling me in.
I haven't quite finished.
Actually, it's easier now that I've made the decision. We belong together.
Then you'll be together.
Mm-hmm. Somehow, some way, whatever the price.
Thing is, the price may be very high.
Yeah, I know that. It could cost me my job. It could even cost me my life. But Joe is my life. Without him, it's meaningless. Can you understand that?
Yes, I understand that. I feel the same way about Jill. I wouldn't want to live in this world without her.
Oh, boy. Hey, bro. All's forgiven. Siobhan. It's so good to see you.
Where did you find him?
I found him on our doorstep singing.
Singing, huh?
Mhm.
What was he singing?
That's what we need around here, is a lot more singing.
That's what we need. Yeah, well, I thought that I'd better bring him here before he passed out.
Believe me, if all those endearing young charms which I gaze on so fondly today were to change by tomorrow and fleet in my arms.
Maybe just try to get him to bed before your parents see you.
It's too late. Cat's out of the bag.
Thou would still be adored as this moment thou art. Let thy loveliness fade as it will, and around the dear ruin each wish of my heart would entwine itself, verdantly still.
Beautiful.
Fervor and faith of a soul can be known, to which time will but make more dear. Lord,
Gotta talk to you.
I can't talk now.
And you can't resign from the department
Well, that
either.
decision may be out of my hands.
as sunflower turns. Bill came to celebrate. Come here. Join me in a little ditty. Buddy, come here.
Bill, let's help with this.
Bill!
Yeah, all right, sure.
He's not going to do that. Come on.
Gypsy rover.
Patrick, come on. Too bad.
Down through the valley was
Perhaps a good friend, yes.
and he sang to the green woods rang, and he won the heart of the
Penny, for your thoughts?
For you, they're free.
Well, in that case, I'm buying. What are you thinking?
About Daddy. He had something on his mind.
Well, do you have any idea what it was?
A woman.
He didn't say anything about a woman.
Daddy doesn't have to. I can see it in his eyes.
Oh, yeah?
The eyes are the window to the heart as well as the soul.
So he has romance on his mind.
I don't know if it's romance, but some lady has caught his eye. May I speak with Laszlo Novotny, please? Thank you.
Yeah.
Laszlo,
Yeah, who's this?
this is Siobhan Novak,
Oh.
Joe's ex-wife.
The redhead.
Yeah. Look, I need to speak to you right away.
Yeah, well, I don't want to speak to you.
Please. Please, my life depends on it.
Tuesday at 8, 7 Central and Mountain, John Ritter hosts Life's Most Embarrassing Moments. Then, Janet's got a new job as an exercise instructor, but it's Jack who gets the workout when her man-chasing boss has him on the run on Three's Company. After, Madeline and Charlie's canoe trip lands them up the creek and locked in jail on Old Madeline. And Jonathan races to save Jennifer before a hit woman can erase what she's seen forever on Heart to Heart. Jesse and Angie are discovered. Stay tuned for All My Children, following FYI next.
Hello,
Is this Siobhan Novak?
Laszlo?
Yeah. Somebody there?
No, can you meet me?
If there's something wrong, like how to hang up, you just say...
No. I'm just nervous, that's all. I expected you to call back right away.
Yeah. Well, I had to see some people.
About talking to me?
Can't do it.
Laszlo, please, you've got to help me.
Sorry.
Look, all I need is a couple of minutes. Joe is your cousin. This could mean his life and mine.
Goodbye, kid. You take care. And no more phone calls, okay?
No, please, please, don't hang up. Look, we don't even have to meet. I can tell it to you right now. Please.
If we're interrupted, stop the tape.
You won't like these. You really don't want to see them.
It does affect Jacqueline.
Yes.
I'll see him.
This is a very good idea.
What, this? Well, I guess maybe you're right. We do okay 1-to-1.
Mm-hmm. So maybe we should do it every morning, no matter what. If we make it a priority, then we'll do it.
I'd love that. But you make it sound difficult.
That's because it's hard to be good to yourself, you know?
Mm-hmm. Be a lot easier if we had our own place.
Do we really have to go into that right now? I guess we do.
Listen, Jill. Your mother doesn't have to live with us. God knows Maggie doesn't.
I know that.
But my boy does.
I know that, too.
Okay, so what's the problem? We'll just let Bess and Maggie
Now, Fred,
live
just
at this...
wait a second, okay? Because the problem is very complicated. You grew up surrounded by family. You could go back there tomorrow. Your room would be there, that unit, that support
That
system.
one bathroom for the whole bunch of us. That steam hitting the radiator at 5 a.m. Oh, yeah. I could go back to all of that.
Don't laugh. Don't you see, you're full of family. But I'm hungry for it. Sure, maybe Maggie and my mother, they don't need us, but I need them. Just as close as I can get them.
What about the family we're going to have? I still want us to have children.
So do I. Hey, don't you think that I can love you and be a wife and a mother and have a mother? Look, I'm not going to let myself get upset this morning, all right? Because I know we have to go to work.
No,
so
no,
let's
no,
just...
we don't have to go to work. Now, why don't we just take the time right now and get this thing sorted out?
Because I don't know how. I feel like I'm asking for the moon. Like I'm pushing the Coleridges out, pulling the Shelbys in, ignoring the Ryans. But I'm not. Why don't you tell me that I'm not? Where do I get a foothold, huh? Look, I am not even your legal wife.
Maybe that's just the foothold that we both need.
What?
A legal marriage. We'll do it today.
Yeah, famous last words.
You want to know the last word? Elope.
Elope?
Elope.
He went through a ceremony with her. Now, I know that the law says that they're married, but it really doesn't matter because I'm his wife, he is my husband. We can't stay apart.
Siobhan, you're not making any sense. Tell this to your priest, not to me.
No, you let me talk to your boss, the one at the top, the man that Joe went to see. You can arrange that, can't you?
No, I can't.
Then get a message to him. Say that I will do anything to be with Joe.
That's a bad message. You don't want to tell nobody.
No, I do. Please.
I met once or twice at a restaurant, and then only at her apartment.
How often?
A few times. The camera setup was only in the bedroom, so of course they could have met possibly in the living room.
And Joe is aware that you know.
I had to call him the night Jacqueline flew in.
Right? You were right.
Joe said as much.
Did he?
Not that he wasn't angry.
Not many men like him. Just a handful.
And there you have the first Mrs. Novak.
He has taste.
Not discretion. What will you do?
That depends.
Max, this is hardly a casual affair.
Joe is hardly a casual husband to Jacqueline. He would hardly be a casual loss to either one of us. Thank you, Hutch. You understand your job, and you do it superbly.
Thank you.
I accepted the risks when I let him marry her. I knew exactly who he was. I chose him.
You could choose again.
I wouldn't like that. Joe has the business skills, the social skills, and the killer instinct. He's dangerous. He's the perfect heir to my empire. About Jacqueline. As much in love as ever?
More so.
Yeah, she had a particular glow last night. Oh, put those tapes away. I'll need them.
You're not going to show them to Joe.
You're not afraid of him, are you?
As I said, we get along beautifully.
And as I said, he's dangerous. But don't let that Novotny murder make you nervous. When he's in our world, Joe abides by the law.
You don't seem to mind that he might have murdered one of his own relatives.
I'm sure he didn't. And if he did, I'm sure there's no proof. We all hit snags here and there, loose ends from the past. That's what I consider this first wife of his.
Wonder if Joe feels the same.
That's what I'm about to find out.
You would drop your pregnant wife?
Who just beat me at tennis? You betcha.
Cab. I'm exhausted. Come to bed with me.
Are you really tired? Now, maybe you should go see a doctor. I'll drive you.
Oh, you're protective again.
Oh, Jacqueline, now would you please be honest with me and tell me how you really feel?
I feel wonderful. Let's never leave Nice.
Okay.
You mean it? You could live without New York?
Sure.
I wanted to catch you before I went to work because of... Oh. Hi, Jill.
Hi. Did he tell you?
No, I thought I'd let you tell her.
Oh. Well, we're going to elope.
You are? Mm-hmm. That's fantastic.
Yeah, we think so. Today. And you're the first to know.
Oh, great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Well, I say forget about telling everybody else. Just go for it.
Well, listen, I'm going to leave you two alone, okay? I want to make some calls, clear the day.
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh.
I love you.
Well, yeah, you sure said the right thing.
I meant it. For you two. And for me and Joe.
Siobhan, what's going on?
First, tell me if you're on my side, Frank. I know we didn't have much of a chance to talk last night, but it sounded as if you might be.
Oh, listen. You are my sister. I love you.
Yeah, I know that, but are you with me or not?
Well, I understand how you feel about Joe.
Oh, come on, Frank, that's not a straight answer.
It's the best one I've got. Siobhan, what's happened? Has he come back from France?
No. This is something I've done. I have to be with him. And I think I found a way.
You're gonna feel so smart when you use Expert Eyes. I do. It's the first all-in-one liner pencil, new from Maybelline.
Trust me, Frank. Help me with the folks.
Well, give me an explanation. I'll do what I can. If it makes sense. Don't ask me for a blank check.
Okay, all right. I won't. Good luck with the eloping.
Hey, come on. Don't pull this.
Now, look, Frank, I'm due at the precinct. I'm expecting an important phone call. I'm sorry that we can't talk.
No, you're sorry because you can't buffalo me.
Oh, that's
yes,
what
that
I was
is what you're trying to do. Now, you know darn well that you can't ask me just for blind cooperation. Answer me this. How is Joe going to be with his wife and you at the same time? Just, please, tell me your plan.
Well, you certainly found a way to be with Jill when you were still married to Delia, didn't you?
Yes, I did. And it was agony. And nobody's life was at stake.
I'm sorry. I don't want to hurt you.
Then don't go get yourself killed. Please. Please, Siobhan. Just tell me your plan.
Frank, I haven't even thought it through completely. I haven't.
Well, then what is all this business about me helping you with the folks?
Well, I need a day or two to myself to think things out. I don't even have an answer for Captain Hollenbeck yet. And I know Ma's gonna worry if I don't keep in touch. And well, you know, Daddy, he'll probably call out the National Guard. If you could just reassure them for me,
Okay,
Frank.
okay, I understand. I will tell them that you are holed up for a couple of days to decide whether or not you want to resign from the force. That much is easy.
Thanks, Frank.
And in return, you don't make a move about Joe without telling me first.
Well, what if you're eloping? What do I do then?
I'll leave a number.
Jill would really appreciate that, wouldn't she? You and Jill have come so far. Gives me hope.
It's just a blood test. You can find out in about a day.
But the suspense is so much more fun. Are my cheeks rosier? Maybe I'll feel queasy in the morning and you'll have to bring me tea and toast in bed. Or maybe I'll just get better and better at tennis.
Yeah.
Good morning.
I was just about to go looking for you.
Good timing. There's something you ought to see. And what is your plan for the day?
A little shopping, maybe. Can I bring you anything?
Yes. The results of a pregnancy test.
Daddy!
Afraid we don't have any secrets from your father.
You're horrible. Both of you. Talk about insensitive. All I can say is, I hope it's a girl.
Well, that would be a good start for the new year.
You know, I was up half the night thinking about that. I wish you'd take things a little bit easier, especially in the first 3 months, but... You know Jacqueline.
I know she's not a spoiled brat anymore. Since she was married to you, she's become a woman.
And a powerful one. Making me a father, and you a grandfather.
Not so powerful she can't be hurt when we're insensitive.
I wouldn't hurt her for anything in the world. Now, you said you wanted to show me something?
Yes. Come on.
Hello, Prince. It's Mrs. Novak.
Hello, how are you?
Fine, thank you. But concerned about that unfinished conversation of ours. I know you and Mr. Hutchinson lied to me. This woman, Siobhan, exists. She works for the police department in New York. And her last name is Novak. Are you listening, Prince?
Yes, ma'am.
I know she was also once married to my husband. I want you to find out what she means to my husband now. And this time, don't sell out to Hutchinson, because if you do, you're fired. And you'll be a long time between jobs, Prince. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Lovely. I'll be in touch. Have a Happy New Year.
Actually, I have 2 surprises. And one is ready to pour.
Why, you never forget anything, do you?
I always like to please my son-in-law.
Well, he feels the same about you.
If that's true, we're a formidable pair.
It's true, Max.
What about the work in New York?
It's finished. I don't want to go back there.
That may suit me very well. Ready for a shock?
Always.
may not rule the world,
but you come awful close.
There are 10, 12 other men with comparable holdings. It gives one a nice visual sense of the economies I affect, doesn't it?
You control their politics. You write their history.
Responsible work. And you'll share it one day. You'll carry it all one day, if things work out. Be a good husband to Jacqueline. Always. Now, good doesn't mean perfect.
Well, I'm glad.
The perfect husband is absolutely faithful and scrupulously honest. He raises cabbages for a living.
Well, that lets me out.
Yes. And a good husband need only be attentive to his wife and spare her his failings. Spare her at all costs.
Yes.
Where will you live if not New York?
Right here.
Then you'll need a proper house with a little one. Fascinating, isn't it? This passing from me to you to him. We must nurture our friendship. As enemies, we destroy one another.
Well, I won't let that happen. So here's the friendship.
To Jacqueline. Make sure she gets that test.
How does sex appeal correlate